In physical geography assignment number 2, you are going to be using a site called WeatherSpark. You should be able to click there through the assignment. There'll be a lot of annoying ads that pop up. There is a little button you can push up here to hide the ads. What you are going to do then is find a city or airport someplace. I say in the assignment in the United States, but you could choose another place if you wanted to. The data might not necessarily be quite as good. But I'm going to choose the town near where I'm from called State College, Pennsylvania. And you'll see when I click on this that it brings up a whole bunch of information about State College and its weather and climate. This is the graph that we're going to be using right here, the average, high, and low. But I'd like you to note that if you go down lower here, you'll find some data about cloud cover. You'll also find data about precipitation. You'll also find data about the hours of daylight and twilight, which is important for explaining seasonality. And then at the very bottom, there's solar elevation and azimuth. At the very bottom, there's a description of where the data actually come from, where it was collected, and you'll see that 96% of it comes from the airport in State College, but some is also aggregated from some other places as well. And these data are data that are regularly collected using very precise instruments at each of the weather stations, whether they're airport weather stations or otherwise, and they have been scrutinized, as you can learn a little bit about as you take a look at these things, by the National Weather Service. This is actually airport data, which is very good data. Okay, now let's go back to this chart right here, which is what you're going to be using. We're going to click on download this chart, and you'll see that what it has is the average temperature for each day, both the high and the low temperature. We're going to download that. And then when you have downloaded that as a PNG, you can just store it someplace where it will be easy to find. I'm going to drop mine onto the desktop. After you are done with this, you can go to Google Earth. And once you are in Google Earth, you can go find the place that you're going to look at. I'm going to look at State College, Pennsylvania, as I said. So I'm going to fly down there. And you can precisely find the airport if you want to. It's actually out here. It's not that important. I'm actually going to turn off the little pin that shows it. But what I am going to do, just to sort of give you a sense of the geography of the area, is I'm going to rotate the area a little bit like this. And then I'm going to drop a place mark or point marker right here. And once I've done that, the little dialog box should come up. I'm first going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to snapshot the view that I have so it comes back to look like this. And then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to change the name of the place mark to Annual Temperature Pattern. State College, PA. And after that, I'm going to click here on the Description tab, and I'm going to add a local image. And I'm going to then go look at my desktop and find that average image, that average temperature image, and place it right there. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from a yellow place mark to something that's maybe a little bit more attractive and professional. I'm going to choose this little blue icon right here and say OK to it. And then this should appear over here, and it appears under My Places. I recommend you take it from My Places and put it in Temporary Places. They seem to save a little bit better when you do that. And then I'm either going to, I'm always going to make sure it's highlighted in blue. I can right-click on it, or I can just go to File, Save, and then Save Place As. And you'll see it's going to ask if I want to put on the desktop. I'm going to do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do just to make sure that this whole thing works is I'm going to highlight this again. You'll see the little pattern, the little thing comes up, which is great, but I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to move someplace else, doesn't matter where, and I am going to say File Open. And under my desktop, that annual temperature pattern KMZ file should appear here. I'm going to click on that, and it should take me right back to the place where I was with the same view of Nittany Valley, it's called. And then if I click down here, I should be able to open up the temperature pattern and take a look at it right there. And that's what you're going to be submitting to me. But what I want you to do in the assignment in addition to this is, most importantly, explain this pattern. State College, Pennsylvania is mostly continental. It has lots of seasonality because it has short winter days where the sun is relatively low and longer summer days, though not as extreme as in Anchorage. It has cloud cover for a significant portion of the year. And its altitude, we can see here, is only 351 meters or so, something like that. So it's only about 1,000 feet above sea level, not enough to have a big impact on the atmospheric pressure and the density of the atmosphere for heating and cooling, as you might have in some cities and places across the United States. So you're going to explain that pattern. And then I also want you to reflect a little bit on the degree to which measurement and observation of these temperatures, in this case at the airport, took place systematically to help us to learn about the temperature pattern that we see in State College. Submit that essay to me along with the KMZ file on Google Earth, and that's what you will be used in assessment for this assignment.